Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendall and this is Ken's Corner and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. So today's video is just going to be a little reading vlog, but it's going to be romance centered. I don't know how many books I'm going to read in this vlog. I'm going to keep it going while I read these for the most part. I know I'm going to read at least 3 with y'all. I have a hefty to be considered and we'll see what I end up actually reading of it. To start, I'm not going to go into detail about any of these books because I don't want to waste my time talking about books that I'm not going to read. So as I read them, I will talk more about them. But yeah, so we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I'm curious about this one. Honestly, I've had it on my shelf for a very long time. It is a very, very popular book talk book, and I'm just curious, I guess. Then we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Love a good Kennedy Ryan read. And then we have a sapphic romance with Stars in Her Eyes by Andy Burke. Then we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I just really want to read it before And Now Back to You comes out, and I've already started it and read some of it, but now I feel like I need to actually get into it and not let myself get distracted. We have Leave Me Behind by K.M. Aranova. I kind of really want to break into this one. And then the last one is going to be A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I'm very hesitant to read this. I have owned this book since this is the hardback. That's how long I've owned this, since it came out, basically. But I'm not good with books that make me feel my emotions heavily, so I end up putting them off. And I don't want to continue to do that because I've heard this is a really good romance. It's a really good story, so I would like to read it. I do have quite the stack here. See if I can get it. Like, I have quite the stack here, I'm not even gonna lie. And it looks like such a fun time. You can't convince me otherwise. Now, the ultimate question is, which one am I starting with? Do I want the cozy sapphic or do I want the dark military? I will say this is a library book, so I probably do need to go ahead and read it and get it back to the library. But this one I have been eyeing since I bought it, basically. What am I waiting for? Decision paralysis at its finest. I don't know. I'm gonna sit with this decision, or sit with this indecision, so should I say. It might make my decision for me because this one's on Kindle Unlimited. Anyways, next time I talk to y'all, I will have a decision made and hopefully be into one of these books. So I literally did not check in while reading this book, but it's done. I finished it last night, and honestly, I'm giving it a 3.5. It's not a bad book. It is a fun time. So it's meant to be a dark romance. There's very much check the trigger warnings because there are some things that truly could be triggering to some people. But my main thing with this book, they hated each other and then all of a sudden, yep, they don't. I don't know. It didn't sit well with me, like some of the things that happened in this book and the way characters went about certain things. So, do I recommend this? Yes. Is it the best book? No. Is it fun? Yes, obviously suspend your disbelief. But yeah, I'm so glad that I was able to finally get to this. Also, I really did enjoy Bradshaw as a character because, well, both of them were so themselves. That's one thing I really do like about this book. They were both just very much themselves as characters and as humans, you know? They were just unapologetically monsters, which dark romance, that happens. So yeah, anyways, I'm not sure what my next read's gonna be. I don't know which read it's gonna be, but it's definitely going to be one of these two bad boys. I will let y'all know later what I end up reading. I did start First Time Caller by B.K. Borison this morning because, well, one, my audiobook that I have through Libby is now showing that there's someone waiting for me. So of course I'm gonna go ahead and listen to it. I need to read it. Like, I'm trying to get books off of my physical TBR. You wouldn't believe that if you saw the number of library books on my shelf right now. But that's not the point of this video. So we've got First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I've gotten a good bit of it done. I'm highly enjoying it. I've been listening to it. It's like I got some things done around the house this morning. I went to the library and just different little things like that where I was just listening to it as I went. And the number of times that this has made me chuckle is adorable. This is very much a play on Sleepless in Seattle. It's a lot of fun. I do love the radio show aspect, like the conversations these two are having. There is some banter between these two characters that I'm so excited for when they realize like they're the ones that are meant to be. So hopefully, I mean, I'm almost halfway through, so I'm sure we're gonna get that pretty soon so that we get some romance between them. As of right now, also Aiden's jealousy, his little green monster is showing, and it's kind of adorable, I can't lie. I am having a lot of fun with this. I will say I am excited because I did go today, do the little buddy read conversation with my best friend, and we went to our favorite coffee shop, and it's a bookstore as well, and I finally picked up my own copy of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I have it checked out from the library, so was this needed? Probably not, but yes. I'm not gonna read it in this vlog, obviously, but I wanted to show it. And then of course I did have to go to the library today, so I swear I always go to the library on my off days, but there's nothing wrong with that. So I will be back when I'm finished with this book. We'll talk more about it then. Okay, so I just finished First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This was so adorable. I don't understand. I don't get what happened the first time through that made me put it down, because like, okay, to be fair, the audiobook, I liked it so much, and I'm not saying that it carried the story, because I think I still would have really liked the story, like eyeball reading it, but there's something about listening to it while it's based on a radio show type of situation. I think that was the way to go for me for this, so that was fun. I am giving it a 4-star. Easy 4-star. I can't wait till the next one. I think it's And Now Back to You comes out in February or March, and now I'm very excited for that one. I highly recommend this one. I'm starting another book tonight. I'm going to start Sin Bin by Chelsea Quarto. And I'm so excited for this because main man is Coach. It's Coach Sanders. The female main character is one of his players' sister. It also has like that burnt out athlete representation. I also just love this series. I love the DC Star series. And I'm very much hoping to get more of that found family too. So far, it's looking like it's going to start out with a one night stand and go further because that's what chapter 1 is giving. So we'll see. But yeah, I am starting that tonight and I will talk with y'all more once I have more. Alright, so I know I have started Sin Bin. I'm reading that on my Kindle, but I have picked up the audiobook for A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I'm only 22 pages in, but so far I am highly enjoying the writing and I've got to share. Anyway, first off, if you don't know about A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, first off, where you been? Because I'm late reading this book, but I kept putting it off because I have heard it's a very emotional read, and one thing about me is that makes me avoid it. I avoid emotions like the plague. It's a toxic trait of mine. This is very much a contemporary / historical romance with magical realism in it. I don't know a whole lot about it yet. I do know that Ricky Wilde is the accidental daughter of an Atlanta socialite family who just doesn't fit that norm. One of the things that I want to say is how pretty Tia Williams' writing is in describing the way Ricky Wilde feels. So like when she was describing how she felt versus her sisters, she wrote, "Where her sisters were long-stemmed roses, Ricky, younger than Ray by 15 years, was a dandelion. A bloom that looked like a flower, but was really a weed, born to erupt into fluff, floating wherever the wind blew." And then there's another spot where they were talking about like knowing people, and I'm very much a introverted, stick to myself, would rather be in my own company than be in the company of people who don't appreciate the person I am, if that makes sense. But I also can come off sometimes as standoffish because I relate to this. It was her inner monologue thinking about like while her family was talking about her at a family dinner. And this is only on page 8. I'm not ruining anything. But it says, "Real intimacy, platonic, romantic, or sexual, paralyzed her. What if people saw what the Wilds saw? That she was a joke. Her family had mythologized her black sheep personality, but Ricky wanted to create her own mythology." Excuse me? And then last one, it's just too pretty to not share. She met this elderly lady and they were talking about things they needed to, and she said, and the older lady said, "Do you have a sweetheart?" And Ricky says, no ma'am, I don't think I've ever had one." The older lady says, "You will," and smiled and continued to say, "To me, love is like listening to an album. Some people skip to their favorite songs and ignore the rest. Other people listen to the entire album over and over until it's familiar and cherished and they know every note by heart. That's how Dr. Bennett and I loved each other. He was music I could listen to forever." Like, that is such a beautiful way to talk about love, but it's also very alluding, that mixed with the title and the fact that you very quickly see a piano in the first 20 pages. I mean, plus it does say, like the tagline up at the top above the synopsis says, "One florist, one pianist, one love story, 100 years in the making." Like, come on now, that is beautiful. I can't wait to get more into this. I am about to get ready to go to the gym, so I am going to continue listening to this because it is an upper body day, so I have the privilege of doing that. I'm gonna do that. Alright, so it has been some days and I have some updates. I have gotten about halfway through one book and I have finished another. So first I want to touch on the book that I've gotten about halfway through. Yeah, I'm 53% of the way through Sin Bin by Chelsea Quarto, and I'm having so much fun with this. I didn't think I wouldn't though. So give me a little bit of a forbidden romance and I'm sold. You get to see a little bit of the found family and you know how hard that hits after Hat Trick. I'm not gonna say much on that because, well, you just have to read Hat Trick. It is a very heart-hitting read. I love that one. Anyways, I really enjoy the DC Star series, and this is no less. I love Brody. I love Brody, and I love Hannah. I love the fact that she's different for Quarto in these books, because normally, like, not to say that Hannah is not a badass female main character, because she is in her own right, but she's not a powerhouse in the same sense as the other female main characters in the series. But she's still a powerhouse because she's like this world champion level figure skater, but she has fallen out of love with the sport and is trying to find that love again to see if she wants to to continue, if she wants to have a different approach to the sport. And yeah, it's beautiful. And then Brody is just trying to survive being the head coach of an NHL team and have a 14-year-old daughter. And I love the daughter. Like, I'm very hit or miss with single parent tropes because the kid can make or break the story. I love Liv. But yeah, so that is going so far so good. It's definitely not giving 5-star feels, but it is definitely giving 4-star. I do believe that's where I'm going to land on this book as I'm reading it right now. We'll see what happens in the last almost 50% that I have. And then the other update is I have finished A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, and oh my god, this was so good. I don't know if it was the story, if it was Tia Williams' writing. It was so much fun. A high 4-star read. Probably a 4.5. I will put on the screen what I ended up giving it. But this mixes a beautiful love story with some magical realism. I put it off for so long because I was told that it's a very emotional read, and it is. But I was thinking like I would be a very emotional person reading it, and while it did hit me in the emotions, I was not emotional while reading it until the end. Miss Della got me. Della got me. This book, I can't believe I put it off for so long just to love it this much. I had so much fun with Ricky, I had fun with Ezra, I had fun with Tuesday, Mrs. Della, like, I don't know, and the growth that Ricky goes through in this story, finding her own, starting her own business, stepping away from her family, and being her own person. I do believe that Tia Williams definitely helps to give some perspective in this beautiful romantic story. This might stick with me and become a 5-star read. I don't know. We'll see. So this was actually a read it or unhaul it prompt. It will be kept. It will not be unhauled. I do see myself being able to reread this one. I'm definitely going to have to read 7 Days in June to see if I just truly love Tia Williams as an author. If you are like me and have not read A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, do it. I don't know what to tell you except for the fact that I love this book. Those are the 2 updates that I have. I am definitely going to finish Sin Bin over the next couple days. Probably not tomorrow, but the next day. And then I think I might try to read one more book with you. I have officially finished Sin Bin and started a new romance. First off, Sin Bin is so cute. Chelsea Quarto does it again. I had so much fun with that read. I really, really enjoyed Brody and Hannah both as our main characters and as a couple. It starts off as a one-night stand situation. You do have a bit of that lust-forward situation for a relationship. The way that Brody makes Hannah feel so seen and just the way that she comforts him, I really did believe in their relationship more so than I did just the lust portion of their relationship, which is necessary for a romance that you're gonna believe in, you know? I have read romances and such that are just straight surface level lusty. They're lust stories, not love stories, and I feel like Hannah and Brody very much was a love story. And also the way that she was with Liv, and honestly, as someone who from the bottom of my heart despises most men, the man that Brody is, he reminds me a lot of Kai Rhodes from Caught Up in the Windy City series. And there was a part in the book I read it was close to the end, where Brody gets called out and he goes, like, not he, but the person talking to him was like, what do you know, all a broody person needs is, or all a broody man needs to be happy or something like that is a blonde walking sunshine personified, basically. And that's what the story was. I can't lie. So that was fun. I definitely gave it 4 stars. It's not my favorite of the series, which is crazy with the way that I was just raving about it, but Slapshot and Hat Trick, Liam and Riley's stories are my favorite so far. But I have highly enjoyed this whole series. And then since then I have started with Stars in Her Eyes by Andy Burke, and I'm very excited. I need a good sapphic romance, and I know that Andy Burke is going to deliver because she has yet to let me down. I say that, but I believe this is my 3rd read from her. Anyways, I'm only 50 pages in, chapter 6. Nothing crazy to announce yet, other than it's so much fun already being in their heads, because they both are very, not standoffish, but kind of like they very much have their persona, how they portray themselves versus what they're really thinking internally. And I'm very excited to see what continues to happen in this one. I don't know how much more I'm going to read of this tonight because I am starting on a different book too, but I am very excited excited to get more into this over the next few days. I love a good sapphic romance. It shouldn't surprise anybody. That's really all the updates I have so far. Talk to y'all once I've read more of With Stars in Her Eyes. So I finished With Stars in Her Eyes by Andy Burke, and this was so good. It was so cute. I gave it 4 stars, and it gave what I wanted it to give. A nice little sapphic romance. One of them's famous and going on a hiatus. I did see the third act conflict coming, and it was miscommunication in a way, but it wrapped up pretty quickly. It wasn't something that was long and drawn out. I had so much fun with these 2 characters. I love both Courtney and Thea. They were very much like 3D. They were very much real to me as I read them. They had the depth needed for that. Andy Burke does it again. Gives me a nice little queer romance. Also, can we take a second at the book? Like, because one of them escapes to a small town where she works in her best friend's bookstore. And with that, that is the end of this video. But if you've read any of the books, let me know what you thought about them. I read First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I had fun with it. It was a good little read. I very much enjoyed the characters' dynamic, and I love the take on the radio, or like with the whole radio situation. I read A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. I finally read that book, and I'm so mad at myself for putting it off. But yeah, very much loved Ricky Wilde and the writing. Tia Williams' writing, oh my gracious, it was beautiful. It was like so many quotes, so many quotable spots in that book. If you've not read that book, please read it. And then I read Sin Bin by Chelsea Quarto, and one thing about me is I'm going to eat up anything that woman writes, especially the hockey romance variety. Like, she can do no wrong. I had so much fun with it. The last book that I read in this vlog was this one, With Stars in Her Eyes. Again, I highly recommend this book. We love sapphic reads around here, what can I say? And if you have any sapphic recommendations, or any kind of queer recommendations, it does not have to be strictly sapphic, drop them down below. I want to know. I'm always looking for more good queer reads, especially from queer authors. But yeah, without further ado, that is the end of this video. So have a wonderful morning, evening, or night whenever you're watching. Have a great day on purpose. Be kind to everyone, and happy reading. Bye guys.